Steins gets the first tap straight to Turley. Kick away by Mitchell, didn't go far. Leach gave it up cleverly to Norrish. Norrish to fall forward. Bandy couldn't quite get there. Away Seacamp, out to halfback looking for Cow. Found him away quickly. And then a wobbly old ball, a difficult one. Nettlebeck get a free kick in the back. Jones just into his back, so Nettlebeck at centre wing. Goes to half forward, good lead. Coming from Tingay, with him Hines. Hines running out of room. I think he's pretty pleased to run himself over the boundary line and out of play.
Of course, we saw the difference between Stephen Tingay not quite fully fit and in form, and just at that mark he would take if he was at normal strength.
Boundary throw in just inside 50 metres for Melbourne. The ball comes down to Viney, back to Tingay. A free kick has been picked out. It may go to Todd Viney, a little bit too high. And he's going to have a shot for goal from 50 metres. Probably will stretch Todd Viney. We'll have another look at the incident. And the infringing player may have been Norrish. So the ball is with Todd Viney. And the player on the mark is inside 50, but he perhaps will come right up to the 50-metre line. Shocking kick by Viney off the side of his boot into the forward pocket area. Chisholm, now the chance for Mitchell to get it back to Chisholm. Strongly contested there by Farmer, and the umpire will bounce. A bit of a dust-up, Chisholm just asserting his authority early, but the umpire will bounce about 35 metres out from the Melbourne goal. Umpires for the evening there. Ruck contest right outside the Melbourne goal. And the umpire can do nothing more than bounce it once again. Tony Godden, Winston Abraham and young Stephen Coops on the Dockers bench.
Melbourne 30 metres away from goal. Steins and David Hines again, Nettlebeck, Turley. Appealing for a free kick, Mitchell. Steins, awkward one. Not going far. Hines over the top. And it's going to be another bounce. First night match for Fremantle this season. Melbourne started the year quite disastrously against Geelong on that first Friday night. McManus didn't have a lot of it. Clarkson, high tackle called against Harding and a free kick. So the D's.
I think what Melbourne need is a little bit of good fortune to get themselves started. I think they had it in that occasion, and sometimes those little things make an enormous difference in the first couple of minutes of the game.
Clarkson from 30 metres, practically straight in front, should score the goal. Looks good off the boot, he's got it. So the opening goal to Alistair Clarkson. And Melbourne, after that free kick, score first.
And there's a lot of variables in football. The bounce of the ball, it just can be lucky or can be unlucky. And if you can just get a lucky free kick early in the game, gives you a free shot at goal, it really makes an enormous difference to the potential outcome of the game later on.
Well, they've had the better of the umpiring decision so far for the Demons, and they've got the first goal on the scoreboard, a dubious free kick to Clarkson. Norrish kicks the Dockers up towards centre half forward. The ball spills to the back. A real attack on it by Bandy. It's gathered by Leach, and the Dockers supporters pretty happy there. They've received a free kick only 30 metres out to big Daniel Bandy. Bandy to kick from, well, he may have to kick this 40 metres plus to score. We'll have another look. And just didn't quite see what happened there. But Bandy with the football goes back and just off to the right a little bit. It's perhaps marked on the line, but it may have gone over. Yes, it has. Ridley took the mark, but it went over for a behind to the Dockers. So Melbourne lead, they've kicked a goal. The Dockers are behind, kicked by Daniel Bandy, and quickly kicked in. Terrific kick. Malloy has marked it right half back for Melbourne.
Darren Cowell spot on there. Malloy's kick to centre wing. Primke, good take. Had a poor game against Collingwood in round 2, but back here, Viney. It's got Tingay outside. May use him, does. Tingay comes inside now. On the left foot to full forward. Smith front spot. Couldn't take it. Madigan was at the back. Turley over the top. Then Madigan. He's got to get rid of it. Harding in there. Farmer went off the ground. Chance for Smith off the ground. And it's going to wobble through in the end for a behind. So Melbourne up to 1-1 and Fremantle a point. It's been pretty good, Sean Smith. 50 goals last year and an exciting start to this season again. Missed one game, but he's in the double figures already. Chisholm, he's weighted that absolutely perfectly. It's a beautiful kick to Mitchell, first-year player at AFL level. Again, a neat kick to centre wing. Good tuck by Primke against Man. Uses Cow. Cow brings it back inside. Looking maybe for Smith. At the back, Harding's hands were good to Callahan. To Jones, just chips away. Edwards needs the right bounce here. Steins to close. Edwards, well done to Hines. Hines, that was a good dummy. Then a little left footer. Found its target. And Dale kick it in the centre. Kicker comes wide, looking for Norris. He runs onto it. Should have taken the mark at centre half forward. Awkward kick around the body. Bandy in the front spot. Ingerson at the back. Punch away was effective. Brent Lovett had to sit and wait. Ridley and now Ben Allen working it out back to Bandy. Couldn't get an effective handball away. Viney's handball now cut off by Hines. Hines left foot is going to get towards the behinds. In fact, it goes through for a point. So David Hines edges Fremantle up to a couple of behinds there, 2, and at Melbourne 1-1-7.
So Darren Cowell is a beautiful kick of the football for the second time to kick it in for Melbourne. And the crowd has built up here at the Wacker. Pretty important game for both sides. Fremantle, well, a couple of wins, and the Demons. Wills is going to go off the ground. This might be is this a blood rule? Because the umpires look as though they're indicating to Darren Cowell that he's got to wait, maybe. And no one from the bench for the Dockers ready to take Wills' place. So a little bit of a delay here as the Dockers select Winston Abraham to come onto the ground in exchange for Andrew Wills.
One of those problems with the blood rule, it's a very minor bit of blood, and the bench aren't aware until the player's almost ready to come off, and we've had a 30-second delay accordingly.
Cow, usually neat, and again found his target. Viney getting touches early. Goes distance. Nettlebeck target. Had a bit of it. Jones at the back. Nettlebeck again over the top, and it'll be a bounce. Dwayne, Wills, just a little blood nose, was it?
Just a scratch just under his nose. It's a little bit unfortunate. There's not much there, but a small dressing will be back on.
So Wills on the interchange, just been cleaned up. Dale kick it. Ben Allen, quick reflexes by Allen to get the ball forward. Primke, Man, McManus looking to give off. Now finds some space. Good looking kick off the boot. Bandy tried a half volley, couldn't quite do it. Ridley. Seacamp was over the top of him. Leach, well done with some strength. The Hines at 50. Could blaze away, decides not to. Gives it to Ridley. Ridley centres the ball. Abraham has just come onto the ground. No one really went for it, and Cow took it in the end. Decides not to take Man on and goes with a left foot. Good kick. Farmer's going to have a paddock here, Robbo.
Yes, he's got plenty of room to run in and backs himself. He may have to get rid of it quickly now. Awkward kick, but just a little stiff. Could have nearly been penalised. Turley back to Farmer. Farmer from 30 metres out. Can the Demons get their second goal? The kick is just offline. Getting back was David Neitz. Couldn't grab hold of it, and it goes through for a behind at Melbourne. So the Demons 1-2, lead Fremantle 2 behinds. Very early in this match between the Dockers and the Demons. Chisholm, the elected kick in, and he finds Edwards. Just nonchalantly kicks the ball 45 metres and finds his target. Edwards decides to go long to a one-on-one. Primke in front of Man. Primke will take it away, backs himself and then strides, then kicks towards centre-half forward. Neats from behind is beaten by O'Reilly, and O'Reilly marks for the Dockers at right half-back. Been a very steady player for Fremantle since crossing from Geelong. The kick goes wide, and it's been marked out there by Mitchell. Mitchell, close to the boundary line, is still probably at half back for Fremantle. His kick lands near the wing, punched away by Mann, gathered by Phoebe. Phoebe off the left foot. Not really as good a kick as Matthew Phoebe would have desired. Dale kick it, gets it back in towards the centre. Callahan with a bit of space, then kicks and finds the captain. Ben Allen has the football slightly forward of centre for Fremantle. Good use of the footy from half back. Now the ball is landing at full forward. Bandy couldn't take it. Leach providing a contest at half forward. McManus beaten for it by Turley. Hopgood in a bit of strife. Back goes Turley once again. Nearly handballed it to himself. Now Tingay goes along the boundary line, and it was a pretty good kick in the finish. He finds touch at about right half back, not quite up to the centre wing, so still in the Dockers forward half. They trail Fremantle, have kicked 2 behinds. Melbourne have kicked 1 goal 2.
Currently 18, expected to get down to 11. It was about 23 when we arrived here mid-afternoon. Just a perfect day in Perth. Viney, so pleasant conditions for the players. Jones worked Nettlebeck underneath it. Chisholm, Callahan, they're finding a bit of space, the Dockers, but Melbourne's defence standing up well early. Clarkson, the lone goal scorer from what looked to be a very dubious free kick. Callahan, short again to Ben Allen. Brett Lovett, the job on Ben Allen. He's a long kick, Allen, and that to Bandy again, front spot. Getting back Steins and also Ingerson out of play, left forward pocket.
It's a hard runner, Ben Allen. That's really going to test Brett Lovett's running ability to be able to keep with him in these kind of conditions.
There's Ben Allen in picture. The ruckman to contest this at the back. Man taken by Mitchell. Into an open goal goes Mitchell and slams it through for the Dockers' first goal. Well, maybe a little fortunate that Peter Mann had better footing in the ruck contest, but the roving at the back by Mitchell was first class.
I think it's the advantage of just real speed, isn't it? It's really a very nippy acceleration, Mitchell, and he was able to... Stephen Tingay just got the fingertips on him, but wasn't able to hold him up and ran in and kicked an easy goal in the very end of play.
Early days, scores level in Perth. Mitchell and Clarkson, the goal scorers, to the small men on the ground. Mitchell again prominent through the centre, kicks to centre half forward. McManus worked to the front on Hopgood. Bandy tried one off the ground. Hopgood tried to trap it under pressure from McManus. Primke there with Cow, back to Hopgood, didn't have control. Ingerson tries to force it forward. Good hassling by the Dockers. Hines gets it to Allen. Allen's kicked to full forward, the mark by Seekamp in front of Ridley. Chips away to Primke. Just a little element of danger in that, but Primke, who looks to be in touch early, takes the mark. In the back pocket, called to play on here. I don't think Ridley was completely aware of that. Goes to half back. Turley was the big fly and out of play. Lee, you had a chance to see Turley last week. Do you think he was in fair form?
Oh, he was probably Melbourne's best player. Melbourne really had a strong second half, and Turley was very much part of that.
Boundary throw in, ruck contest, Steins, Brett Lovett. Primke again. Kicks in towards the middle of the ground. David Hines pounces on it. Lovely long hand pass out in front of Chisholm. The advantage should be paid. Chisholm's hand pass down to Abraham. He looked as though he may have been waiting for the umpire to pull up play. Winston Abraham. Farmer does well. Just gets away from the tackler, then kicks it wide. He may have been looking out there for Tingay. A little bit too far for that player. Edwards grabbed by the jumper. Tingay gets it back to Clarkson, back to Tingay, to half forward. No one home for Melbourne. And Hines will take it away. You kick it back to the wing with precision. Finds Edwards close to the line. Edwards just gets a little bit towards the middle of the centre half forward area. Mann swoops on it. Mann shot for goal is blocked off by Malloy. Steins strong. Showed a bit of courage, Jimmy Steins, at ground level, and knocks it clear for a boundary throw in. Between forward pocket and right half forward for the Fremantle Dockers. Well within scoring distance. Scores level. Mann doing the ruck work. Taken away again by Primke. His confidence must grow with this first 10 or 12 minutes. Now Hopgood, his kick across the ground to right half forward. The crumbs could be gathered again by Mitchell. Gives the hand pass, a little bit too far for O'Reilly, may get run down. Nettlebeck was the Melbourne player, but O'Reilly back to steady, then kicks it out wide. Good kick off the left foot. Very good kick. It's been marked by Leach. Leach is on centre wing.
Goes for Ridley, finds him. Still a long way from home. Bandy now goes. Ridley goes in his direction to the pocket. Again, Primke getting back to help Ingerson out. They obviously feel that Bandy's a prime target. Primke just poised for a moment and sized up the situation. Norwich came in and pushed him over the line. No damage done. Fremantle attacking. Steins and Man in the front spot, McManus. In trouble. Gone. He had a long time to get rid of it. Viney put the tackle on and gets it at half back. Todd Viney, who we all thought would be in Monte Carlo a few weeks ago with Mark Philippoussis, who did win a match on the clay there this week. But back playing his 4th game for the season for Melbourne. Hines having a good start. He was involved in, I think, 3 premierships at Port Adelaide before he came to West Coast and did very well there. Again, a premiership player, and now with the Dockers. Just measures a kick towards Man. It's a sort of 3-quarter kick. Ben Allen picks it up. Neat. That's a beautiful kick to Ridley. A fabulous kick by the captain, but Ridley in the pocket.
Great ball control, wasn't it, Bruce, to be able to kick around his body, still weight the kick and enable Ridley to virtually mark it unopposed.
So he's tucked away in the pocket. We get a good view from our commentary position here. Right behind him. Off the boot, looks good. That's a fantastic goal. They add up at the end of the night, don't they, Lee, when you can kick them from there. 2-2 to 1-2.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Melbourne had a good first 3 or 4 minutes, but it's been a very good sort of rest of the quarter so far to the Dockers. At the moment, Melbourne are really just sort of holding on a little bit just to be able to keep in touch. It's a dangerous patch for Melbourne just at the moment.
Already statistically, the Dockers' ascendancy over Melbourne fairly obvious. 33 kicks to 24, 15 handballs to 13, 15 marks to 9. So plenty of the football being shared around by Fremantle. 7 minutes left in the first quarter. They've kicked 2 goals, 2. Melbourne have kicked 1 goal, 2. Steins tries to get it down towards Tingay, fighting hard, gets his left foot to it. But chopping it off is Chisholm. Chisholm across the half-back line for Fremantle. He's going to be an absolute pain in the neck for Melbourne, you would think, across that area. Brett Lovett. Oh, chopped off. Abraham. Handball out the path of Callahan. He looks a neat kick off the left side. This is not bad. Out in front there of Bandy. Bandy gathers it, then gives the handball back. Abraham. Very positive play. Left foot snapshot. He's offline and through for 1 behind. Kick by Winston Abraham, who started on the bench, which would suggest would be a bit of a surprise for Dockers fans. There was a big cheer went out when he had to come onto the ground to take Andrew Wills's place. Wills off the ground at the moment because of the blood rule.
Melbourne been successful in the early stages of this match from kick-ins, and again they've done it, this time Turley. So Cow's been able to find 3 different men. Turley's kick to centre wing, Neat's front spot. O'Reilly looked over his shoulder, kick it. Oh, good kick into the middle. I think Viney might be picking up Ben Allen now. Allen wide, looking for Chisholm, found him, Chisholm away. They build it up beautifully. That's not a good kick. Bandy's got to go a long way down. Ingerson to try and worry him out of it. Abraham to try and come in. Held up by Brett Lovett. Viney sweeps a handball back to Ingerson, who concedes some ground but finds Turley. Turley at back pocket. Nice looking kick off the boot to Matthew Phoebe. Between half-back and centre wing. Steadies up a bit. Then goes to no one in particular. O'Reilly in front of Neitz. Left-hand handball okay. McManus, well done to Norris. Again, well done to Hines inside. Hines into the centre. Tingay should get onto it for Melbourne. He does. So a bit of a turnaround here, though. Abraham gets hold of him. Viney, well played. Back to Tingay. Under pressure from Abraham. Has a second go. Viney in hard. Well done again. And he's earned himself a free kick.
I think it was important there that Tingay kept competing. Probably never looked like getting an effective possession, but he was in there having a go all the time.
And then Viney helped out, didn't he, Robbo? Now it's going to come back.
Melbourne really need to get something out of the half-forward line. If the Dockers keep holding them up at half back, they're running players. Chisholm and those players just continually kept pushing up the ground. Nooch is going to be a critical player in that part of the ground.
Matthew Phoebe took it wide, then goes to full forward. Smith, a huge fly from the front, unable to take it. With him is Madigan, and it's going to be a bounce. About 30 metres from Melbourne's goal.
Actually, when you think about it, now's the chance for them to get a goal, and they really have to capitalise on this opportunity. It was a big leap, wasn't it?
We see that every week. We tend to get used to it now.
The bounce of the ball at centre-half forward for Melbourne. And nothing much happening there, so...
But it is really going to be, I mean, we've got a packed situation here, but I don't think there's going to be too many of them. It's going to be a really free-flowing rebound game, so being able to score when you go forward is going to be pretty important, as it always is.
Steins tries to get it clear. Now it finishes with Turley. Left foot snap by Craig. Turley is a beauty. Magnificent kick by Turley off his left side. Goal to the Demons. Well, I say that because he's a natural right foot kick. He is a little awkward with his kicking style, but very effective.
As we mentioned, yes, it was important. Melbourne, they hadn't been forward really until for the last few minutes, so it was efficient play to be able to get level on the scoreboard. Really the last 10 minutes has been a struggle with them to keep in touch. The Dockers have had most of the ball during that period.
Big punch forward by Steins, then Turley. Harding there for the Dockers. Dale kick it now across half-back. Handballs it wide for Mitchell. Mitchell goes to O'Reilly. And the Dockers down the ground. Chisholm, the ball bouncing end on end, away from Chisholm. And Farmer, and over for a boundary throw in centre wing.
That Farmer-Chisholm duel is going to be critical. Chisholm probably plays 10 metres from Farmer, and he's going to back his judgment. He's not going to be playing close checking defence.
Will's getting ready to come back on. Steins and Hines again in the ruck. Tingay, now Clarkson's handball, didn't go far. Ben Allen caught. Play on. Turley getting touches. Brett Lovett. Tingay just to push it out to Steins. He did it well. And now Steins on the left. Goes to half forward. Neitz and also Nettlebeck were lining up, but Jones last man there. O'Reilly in the front. Out of play. Left half forward. Demons attacking. Callahan coming off for the Dockers. And Andrew Wills coming back on. Abraham came on for Wills earlier. Robbo said a bit of a surprise to see Abraham start on the interchange. Chisholm gave it to Mitchell. Mitchell to Edwards. Edwards, that awkward style, kicking style of his. Primke, well done. Down to Steins. Sort of blazed away, Jimmy. And that's a free kick going to Neitz against O'Reilly, who looks pretty disappointed.
Well, it looked like body. Standing your ground with chest.
I've got to have a look at it again, but I don't know. We've seen 3 incredibly soft free kicks in the forward 50. 1 to Fremantle, 2 to Melbourne. You just to hope that that's not the kind of attitude the umpires are going to continue with, because that is just too soft. And 3 in 15, 20 minutes is just too many.
Well, needs to put the D's in front if he can score. Neil Balmer's just left the coaches area right in front of us. So with 3 minutes to go, just shows you what a long trek down it is. So they won't see a couple of minutes of football here. It must be awkward for coaches. Neitz' kick looks good off the boot. He's got it. So Milton got 2 goals from, well, the Clarkson one looked really a grey one, and that one looked at best 50-50.
Well, I'd say it wasn't even 50-50. Neither of them were free kicks. I mean, he really held his ground. I didn't really think that was a shove. He just stopped Neitz coming any further back. He didn't push him forward. But nevertheless, we say there's a lot of luck in football, and umpiring decisions are just one of those luck elements, and they've gone with Melbourne in this very early in the game.
So Melbourne get their second goal out of a, well, ordinary free kick, you would suggest. Ben Allen harassed by Brett Lovett, taken away by Viney. Geez, a terrific worker. In on close quarters, Todd Viney. Now Chisholm may rebound against the Demons here. Chisholm looking to give the hand pass away again. This is O'Reilly with 2 minutes left in the quarter. O'Reilly kicks in the McManus direction. It was a beautiful kick in the finish. Just set it up for McManus. He's going to get run down and he should be penalised, and is so. He probably had 2 or 3 chances to get the ball clear, and once you're caught, it's dynamite. Gee, what a great mark taken by Madigan from behind. He had to sit beautifully there, and he did it very effectively. Spectacular stuff of Australian rules football, effected by Greg Madigan. And there, a high leap by Abraham, couldn't hook it in. Little kick off the ground, man, looking for Wills. Too far, Clarkson provides a contest. In goes Hopgood, and the boundary umpire has decided that the ball has gone over, so he'll throw it in right half forward for Fremantle. Melbourne lead, they're 3-2, Fremantle are 2-3, and we've got just over a minute left in this first term. Clarkson nearly took it out of the air. Wills taken down by Primke, locked up 55 metres from the Dockers' goal. The umpire will bounce.
I think Melbourne look nice and tough in the middle of the packs, and that's the way they can win the game. They can't win it by having a game of keepings off, but they're getting first hands on the ball fairly often. Viney, Clarkson, Turley.
Primke, free kick. Get plenty of touches, Lee, for Viney and Turley, and Tingay getting a few.
Primke's been very good at centre-half back.
Goes to centre wing. Neats his target, O'Reilly. That's going to be a pivotal duel, isn't it, throughout the night? Neats and O'Reilly. David Neats, such a talent. Look at the free kicks. Melbourne 8-2. We saw a lopsided situation yesterday in Melbourne that caused a lot of comment between Collingwood and Essendon. Turley, another kick around the body. O'Reilly and Neats both end up going to ground eventually. Viney tried to go off the ground. Then Obbs, who's played most of this quarter at half forward. It's centering kick, Smith in the front spot, good stretch, lovely mark. He's within distance.
He really has become a very good player. I mean, the ball, he had to make that a good mark, and it was just the loop from the front position. Madigan was there to spoil, but really good high loop by Smith, and really in very good touch this last season.
Now, there might be a blood rule here, I think. It's not going to matter what's going to happen here.
Well, it could be, but also Smith is asking the umpire exactly where the man on the mark is entitled to be when he kicks the ball.
So the siren has gone, and Sean Smith is going to shoot from about 40 metres out. Not much of an angle.
The goalie should kick, Bruce, and Melbourne to win the game.
And would give them a handy little lead in the quarter that they've been outplayed in. That's great off the boot. He's put it through. So Melbourne has come home with a rush here, with late goals from Neats, and before him Turley, and then Smith after the siren sounded. And Lee, they've pinched a little break, 4 goals 2 to 2 goals 3.
Yes, it certainly was a very good last 5 minutes of the game for Melbourne. They need that little bit of luck, and they've got it. Now that's up to them to carry it on from here.
So the score at quarter time, Fremantle 2-3, trail Melbourne 4-2. Thanks for that, Dwayne. As we start the second term, with the Dockers 15 and the Demons 26 on a warm evening in Perth. Clarkson went hard at it. Melbourne going to the left of screen. Neats. He had it for a while, and O'Reilly has been paid the free kick. Was going to give it off to Allen and had a bit of a fumble before he took control of the ball. So he pushes to Norrish. Norrish away with a bounce, and a second bounce. He can go right up to the 50 here, Norrish. Kicks from about 55 to Wills in the pocket. Play on call, didn't hold the mark. Ridley back to Wills. Wills is snapped close. It might be a goal. No touched. So behind the Dockers, 2-4 to 4-2. It's been touched off the boot because it looked like it had gone through. And Cowell, who's been very good in this situation to kick in for Melbourne. He's got Malloy wide if he wants him.
Yeah, I think the accuracy was there.
Fremantle are largely playing man-to-man, so it's a case of an accurate kicker. Melbourne players has got a chance of getting off.
Cowell goes straight down the ground, but it's punched back towards centre-half forward. Run down with Seacamp by Wills, and a free kick will go to Wills. Just a little slow there, Marcus Seacamp.
You do have to have eyes in the back of your head in the modern football with a tackling wheel. I mean, he had a chance to get rid of it, didn't see Wills coming, and of course that's a free kick under what is the 1996 interpretation. But gee, you have to have a good sixth sense to see them coming.
The game's played at such a cracking pace that players quickly onto you. Wills for his second chance within a minute. It's a beautiful long kick just offline and through for one behind. Now the umpire way back at the other end of the ground is blowing his whistle, I would suggest again, because of a blood rule.
Yep, Farmer.
Surely, because he's
coming off
120 metres away from the player with the ball.
He's got a little nick, I think, over his eye, Robbo. Yeah, you can have a look there.
So surely he'd come off the ground, wouldn't he? Which he does. And Adam Uze for his first run tonight. Two number 13s, Adam Uze and Scott Chisholm to man up as the Demons prepare to kick it back in. Cowell in short finds Hopgood. Hopgood's in the right back pocket. Plays on and kicks it out wide looking for Steins, but it's too wide. And all of a sudden the Dockers have possession of the ball in their forward half. This is Mann. Peter Mann, quite an experienced campaigner now for the Dockers. Champion player last year. The kick towards full forward, nearly taken by Ridley. A free kick is going to Melbourne. That'll be taken by Ingerson.
Little push in the back, which probably wasn't a lot in it, but Cowell's going to get a free kick now against Norwich. At half back. Kicks to centre wing. Stein's the target. Hines with him. Mitchell gave it up actually to the Demons. Clarkson's left foot kick. Awkward for Neitz. Out of play between centre wing and half forward. David Hines, Jim Steins. Not much in that. Clarkson didn't really take control, but deemed that he did.
That was sensational stuff by Godden.
He stood his ground, didn't he? And
my word.
Free kick. So Godden back in the team tonight. That's a floating ball, be hard to mark. Primke at the back to Hopgood, put him under pressure. Now Primke gone. Brett Lovett sweeps a left-hand handball over to Malloy. He'll have to get rid of it in a hurry.
Gee, there were a couple of them a bit lucky there, the Demons, but they may get out of strife. Uze, left foot kick towards half forward. Oh, beautiful body work there by Andrew Obbs to get rid of Dale Pickett and take the mark. He plays on quickly. He's kicking towards full forward. It goes past all players. Now there's a scramble. Madigan and David Neitz, and the umpire will call for a bounce. The player's about 40 metres from Melbourne's goal. So the Demons a chance to add to their score. Presently they're 4-2. Fremantle are 2-3. A ruck contest. Neitz can't get past Godden, so the umpire will have to bounce it once again. Pretty well perfect conditions for football. Dwayne Lamb on the boundary line.
Farmer, yes, he's been opened up just above the brow, so it looks like he might need a stitch or two.
Good on you, Dwayne. Demons by 9 points. Steins, but down to Godden. Godden to centre wing. Difficult ball. Malloy and Leach. Malloy wins out. Left-hand handball okay. Tingay in trouble. Does give it off. Malloy. And a throw in at centre wing as the young fella coming on for his first run in senior footy, Stephen Coops, the 17-year-old about to make his debut. Gee, won't he be excited. Steins tries to squeeze a kick away. Chisholm goes off the ground out on the full. So Melbourne getting the free kick at centre wing as Coops comes on for Abraham. Cowell away, centering kick, Neitz the target, it's got him at centre half forward. He's within distance.
I think David Neitz would like about 3 or 4 more. Darren Cowell's kicking the ball down to him.
It's a good position, a good mark, and it's a critical duel. This David Neitz really needs to be able to give Melbourne a real target around half forward. He got that free kick and kicked the 1 goal for his confidence, and he's led into position that's pretty important. He kicks this just to really make him feel that this is his night.
Kick from right on 50 now. He's missed it. Gave it a real push out to the right. and a behind. So a wasted chance for Melbourne. 4-3-2-5. Looks as if it could be a low-scoring encounter. Chisholm straight down the centre. O'Reilly, in fact, there were 3 Dockers lining up there. Norrish and Mitchell were behind him, and O'Reilly took the mark at centre half-back. He was looking laterally for Harding, but decides to go to centre wing. Pripke at the back was hanging onto the jumper there. We free kick to Bandy, and Docker supporters pretty handy. So Bandy, who's come up from full forward to play at centre half forward in this quarter, he goes wider, goes to Harding.
And that player will kick the Dockers inside their 50-metre area. Nearly taken there by Ridley. Goes after it once again. Awkward ball. Taken by the Dockers. Harding now. He received. Godden just gives away a little bit of ground. They've gone back nearly to the wing. Harding's kick across his body. Jimmy Steins gets back. That's a good strong mark by the Melbourne ruckman. Away to Brett Lovett. Brett Lovett goes across the half-back line. The mark has been taken by Viney. Goes short, and it's effective. Turley has the football. Craig Turley on centre wing. Played a bit of footy here, the West Coast Eagles. Craig Turley. The kick towards half forward, nearly taken by the Demons. Viney couldn't get past. Uze in a bit of strife there, tackled by Godden. Now taken by Chisholm. Away to Ben Allen. Ben Allen runs through centre half back, then goes across the ground to the near side now, and it's been taken there by Leach. Leach is a long way down the ground. He's been playing in the half forward area. He's kicked towards that position. Oh, bad luck, son. His first real chance for possession there, young Stephen Coops. And he drops the chest mark. It falls over for a throw-in. Just 17 years of age. Boundary throw-in 70 metres around from the Dockers goal. They badly need one. Melbourne playing pretty well. Just locking them up. Leach gets his right foot to it, kicks it high, near the 50-metre line. Strong play by Turley, gets it to Cowell. Cowell leaves it behind, and in strife. In all sorts of trouble. The umpire gives him the benefit of the doubt. Hopgood's taken over by Ridley, and eventually, I would suggest the jeers, whatever you call them, the free kickers with Todd Ridley. Ridley's kick to the front of the goal square. Ingerson, good defensive work on man. Pripke comes in to help out. Handball chopped off by Mitchell. It's been stolen by Mitchell, but he misses to the left. And it's through for a behind to Fremantle. May have lifted for Fremantle's side if he could have stepped that one through. 2 goals, 6 is it, or 2-5. Cowell to kick in. We have another look at the steal here by Mitchell. Still the ball is in Fremantle's forward pocket area. Cowell, little left foot kick is effective. Ingerson is marked.
2-6 to 4-3, or ball kick out on the forward. You can see Farmer getting ready to come back on, and Ingerson giving that away. And this will be Dale Kickett. Short to Mitchell. A lot of possessions, Mitchell early. Runs away from Mob, centering kick, looking for Peter Mann, front spot, had a lot of it. Play on call, good decision, Brett Lovett. Nice hands to Seacamp. Seacamp through centre half back. Goes to centre wing. Viney in the front spot, Harding at the back. Then O'Reilly. Turley put the tackle on. Well done by Kickett to sort of pave away forgotten. The advantage is given. No, it's going to come back now to Kickett. I think originally the advantage forgotten. But the umpire assessed that it wasn't the fair play, and Dale Kickett to take it at half back to half forward. Brett Lovett front spot. Edward seemed to have hold of his jumper. Mitchell off the ground. It gets past Ingerson. Mitchell again, well played. Should kick a goal. He's missed again. So 1 goal, 2 to Gavin Mitchell. He's had 7 kicks and 7 handballs. As Farmer on and Uze off for the Demons.
The electrifying stuff, wasn't it, by Mitchell? Farmer we saw in the picture. Cowell's kick in is effective. It's been marked by Malloy. Gets the handball to the feet of Hopgood, who did well in the finish. Kicks out to the wing. Matthew Phoebe is marked. He's going to get caught. No, he gets the hand pass away. Brilliant running provided by Tingay. Tingay off the left foot. Kicks it inside 50 for Melbourne. Oh, is that a free kick? Surely jumped it too high. Too early was Jones. And the free kick is with Nettlebeck. And we have another look at the Melbourne player just put completely out of the marking contest.
Strange rules, those. If he'd got his hands to the ball, the umpire probably would have allowed him to do that. But if a player chooses to go to a big lead from behind and doesn't get his hands to the ball, inevitably the umpire will free kick him for interference.
A lot promised by Craig Nettlebeck in his AFL career. Yet to really live up to most good judges' expectations. But if he kicks a goal here, it'll be a bonus for Melbourne. It looks pretty close. It is a behind. So in a low-scoring game, those chances that come along really have to be capitalised on. 4-4 to 2-7. Melbourne lead. And Chisholm to kick in for the Dockers.
Mitchell's missed a couple at one end, and both Neitz and Nettlebeck have missed at the Melbourne end. Harding comes away. Good kick to Mitchell again. So 15 possessions for Mitchell. Just sizing it up. Danger here. Obbs in hard. Chance for Melbourne. Obbs handball to Clarkson. The Docker player still down. Clarkson's made a meal of this, and they may give away the advantage. Now Steins back to Primke. Primke under pressure. That's a poor result for Melbourne. And Edwards on the up. Inside to Kicker at 50. Goes for goal. It looks good. It's there. A great goal. The first of the term. 3-7 to 4-4. Greg Harding was the player that took the hard knock.
And a very, very good running goal in the end, of course, by Fremantle. But really, Alistair Clarkson got completely lost on the half-forward line for Melbourne. They had complete ascendancy of the play, lost possession, and then all the play was off the Fremantle rebound.
Terrific option by Edwards to give the hand pass to Dale Kickett, who kicked accurately for Fremantle. Ruck contest back at the centre. Norris missed it. Chance for the Dockers to get clear now. This is Hines. A high kick out towards right half forward. An opportunity now for Wills. Throws it onto his right foot. A high kick to the 50-metre line. Ball comes back. Leach dispossessed. Was nearly away with the football. Underneath there is Malloy. Man looking for the free kick. And the umpire will bounce right on 50 metres.
Todd Viney's gone into the forward line to have a little bit of a spell. It's hard to run on ball the whole game, but this is when the pressure's really on Melbourne. Without Viney in there, for them to still be able to keep getting the first hands on the ball.
Bandy doing the ruck work. This is Turley for Melbourne. Kicks across the half-back line, and the mark is taken out there by Matthew Phoebe.
Goes short. Seacamp the target. Gets a bounce at centre wing. Tries for distance to half forward. Nettlebeck underneath it. We'll get a second go here. Hines getting back. Covers a bit of ground, Hines. Neat's clever. The first back turn was okay. And then caught holding the ball. You've got to be quick.
Dockers make a change. Ridley off.
Gee, hard to get the ball away, isn't it, sometimes?
Bruce Ridley off and Abraham back on for Fremantle.
Thanks, Robbo. There's Abraham. Hines has got it in short. He's getting a lot of touches, Hines. Half back. Nice stretch by Brett Lovett, but the free kick going to Bandy for a little push out against Primke. So second free kick to Bandy in this term. Primke did well on man in the opening quarter. Centre wing. Leach, Malloy, big thump away. Here's Viney. Got a nice bounce. Now can size it up. Brett Lovett had to kick in a hurry to centre half forward O'Reilly. Neitz had hold of him. Free kick O'Reilly. Got caught out of position, Neitz there, and was forced to give it away. So back to O'Reilly at centre half back. He's going to go wide to Callaghan. And Callaghan is at centre wing.
Natural left footer. And looks pretty neat. Delivers. And Mitchell, gee, was a bit fortunate that the Melbourne player wasn't a little closer there. Took the mark at the second grab. Kicks in towards half forward. The Melbourne player slipping over was Ingerson. And Mann finishes up taking a fairly easy chest mark in the finish.
He's been slippery, Mitchell, getting a lot of the ball, and you know, he's really the on-baller probably for the Dockers that is really keeping them in it. 16 possessions already.
So another important kick, this time by Peter Mann. Gets the distance, but in striving for the extra meterage, he's hooked it off to the left and through for are behind. That's his first score of the night. So the Dockers 3-8. They've had 11 scoring shots to 8, but they trail by 2 behinds. Melbourne are 4-4.
Hasn't really missed Cowell, has he, from this situation? Had to mix it up a bit. Now wide. Well, he's missed this time. Ingerson, the target, out on the full. Hard to be at 100%. He's got onto this man, right to the square. Wills had a fair bit of it. Abraham clever. Is he goal? He may well have. It's there. 4-8 to 4-4. Dockers back in front. Norwich coming off for them. Must be Hartley for the goal umpire. We had a reasonable view of that. That's a tough call from there.
When that's a quick snapshot from close in, but it's the third time in the game that Melbourne have kicked a ball out of bounds from the full without being under pressure, but a really good finish by Abraham. Either foot, he really looks like if he's got the ball within scoring distance, he's a good chance of converting.
Gee, a very penetrating kick by Peter Mann. Gave the Dockers the opportunity, and Abraham kicked the goal. It's at centre-half forward again. Coops off the ground. Primke nearly run down by Mann, but Hopgood is there for Melbourne. He runs away from the half-back line and kicks it out towards the wing, and Jimmy Steins is marked for the Demons. Steins on centre wing. Goes in short. The lead is provided there by Nettlebeck, and he's taken the mark. He's still probably 2 kicks from goal. He's 3 kicks from goal. Chance for Viney. He should pump it in towards full forward. A little too high. Set it up for Madigan. Made it very difficult for Smith. Away goes Chisholm. Chisholm run down. Gets the handball away, but a free kick a little too high. It's not going to Chisholm, I don't think. It may go back to Madigan.
He reversed the advantage call. It was an advantage call, but it didn't turn out to be advantage, so he brought the ball back. Good umpire.
And there's a bit of a dust-up. There's a free kick here going to go to Farmer, maybe, because he and Chisholm were having a real go at each other. And it's now going to be taken away from Madigan, and Smith will have to come back and have a shot for goal because Chisholm decked Farmer 40 metres away from where Madigan was going to kick the ball.
The umpire was motioning with a kicking action. Very strange. If that happened, you think he would have been reported. So I'm not quite sure. It was off the ball, and none of us saw exactly what happened.
Well, the Dockers fans not happy, but that's the advantage of having 3 umpires. Plenty of eyes to look at things that are happening away from where the football is. This is Sean Smith. He's already kicked 1, and he kicks it straight over the goal umpire's head. It's Melbourne's 5th goal. And a real dust-up again. But the goal is all clear as we watch the players just hustle and bustle. Melbourne 5-4 lead Fremantle 4-8.
So Chisholm coming off for that indiscretion. It was an interesting one, Lee. With
yes, one thing you can't do when your team's got the ball, you really have to be very careful.
.48 to 5-4. Plenty happening here at the moment with O'Reilly on the left foot, and he's kicked the ball out of bounds at the full. Chisholm off the ground after giving away the free kick, the turnaround. After Madigan was going to get a free, and Smith was able to goal for Melbourne, his second. There was a little bit of a dust-up that didn't turn out to be much at all. But the intriguing thing was that the umpire was indicating with his boot that Chisholm had made some sort of kicking motion, but it doesn't look like there's been anything more than that at the moment. Steins at centre wing. So maybe that bit of fortune for Melbourne can give them the incentive and the momentum to increase this little lead that they've got. Nettlebeck starting to get a couple of touches. Now kicks to centre half forward. Smith underneath it with Madigan. Smith recovers well. Handball out okay. Brett Lovett left foot shot. Close, it might be through. It's a goal. Brett Lovett kicks his first goal, and Melbourne get 2 within about a minute and a half and get away to 6 goals, 4 to 4 goals 8.
And importantly, I think we mentioned before, Todd Viney had a very short spell. He was only in the forward line for 2 or 3 minutes. I think they really need him in the midfield. It's going to be a hard night for Todd, but you know, really his hardness in the midfield is just going to be critical for Melbourne just to keep pushing it forward enough.
Clarkson off for Melbourne, and Darren O'Brien on for his first run for the night. Hines doing the ruck work. Steins over the top. According to the umpire, has interfered with David Hines. He kicks it now quickly out near the wing. Mitchell, can he get past Obst? Look at Obst, just standing him, looking him in the face. Eventually the kick finds Leach. Leach is at right half forward. Still 2 kicks from the Dockers goal. He'll kick it now in towards full forward. And brilliantly rowed by Abraham. Backs himself, shrugs the tackle, straightens up and bangs it through. Great goal by Abraham. Keep him on the ground. He's an exciting player. 2 goals he's kicked for Fremantle now.
He's an absolute class finish. I mean, really, this is copybook. He had the pace. We see him crumb the ball. He had the pace to get clear on his left foot, but he had the time to straighten up, and I think it's a golden rule. If you can straighten up onto your dominant side, do it. Abraham's a good left foot kick, but he's a better right foot kick, and it was a really copybook finish.
Back to 2 points. This game increasing in momentum now. Goals becoming a little easier to get. 5-8 to 6-4. Abraham with 2 second quarter goals. Viney tries the big handball out of the centre. Mitchell held on to, no free kick. Hines had the ball. Steins got hold of him, and then Allen had the ball, and it'll be a bounce. So in this term, 3-5 for Fremantle and 2-2 for Melbourne. So and those 2 points were both gettable for Melbourne. Missed by Nettlebeck and also Neitz. Over the top kick it. Little give okay to Hines. Was trying to give off. Then goes for distance to centre wing. Seacamp and Coops. Viney, who's been very good in the first half. Scooped up there by Bandy. As far as Uze. Edwards with him all in strongly, Viney. And it'll be a bounce.
It suggests Bandy's little tap on was a bit doubtful, wasn't it?
The little scoop, didn't it? Just under 4 minutes until half-time. Bandy, double-handed tap down. Mitchell off the ground. Gets it inside 50. Callahan. And that's floating. It was on his non-preferred. And floated away from behind. So just a point the difference now. 5-9 to 6-4. Cowell will be just a little tighter than he was the last time when he kicked in. Remember, he kicked the ball out of bounds on the fall, and Abraham was able to get a goal from it. That's distance. Looking for Steins, who got absolutely crunched. Seacamp has to try and carry it forward. So does Viney. They didn't really get a handle on it. Seacamp tried then to get a handball away. Oh, Viney, well played to Brent Lovett in the centre. Could have gone on a bit further. Chips to Sean Smith. Big high fly. Nobody at the back. No roving there for the Demons. Kickett's got it. Stops. Props. Got to get rid of it. Does. Gets out wide. Madigan away with a bounce. And a second as he takes a run, Robbo.
He's a long strider, isn't he? Greg Madigan backed himself and then kicked disappointingly out towards the left half forward area. It just trundles and trundles over.
Free kick down the field. It was a pretty silly action by Sean Smith. He just out of frustration from the chase gave him a little shove as he was kicking the ball, Madigan, so free kick down the field.
Well, it was going to be one-on-one, but now it's with the Dockers. The footy with Andrew Wills. Now he's being called to play on. He runs around and then kicks in towards centre half forward. No mark. Kicked away by Matthew Phoebe. Not far enough for Melbourne's sake. There's still a scramble at centre half forward for the Dockers. Mann doing well on Primke. Not doing well enough, according to the umpire. That tackle over the shoulder there of Paul Primke. And the Melbourne key defender will take the free kick at centre half back. He gives away a little bit of meterage and gets it to Hopgood. Hopgood goes pretty well straight down the ground to right half forward. Nearly taken by Kickett. Helped out by Hines. A scrambling kick gathered by Obst. Hand pass. Not bad. Turley tries to get it to Steins. Not successful. He was under a little bit of pressure there, Craig Turley. And the ball over for a throw-in. Just forward of the wing. So it's in Melbourne's attacking half. We've got 2 minutes left in the second quarter. And Melbourne lead by a point. The Dockers have kicked inaccurately. Now the Demons try to force it forward. Callahan, look away hand pass. Harding, who was thumped unceremoniously earlier in the quarter. Now taken away by Jones. Jones's kick is high towards half forward, punched away by Malloy. Now the scramble is on. And it is a scramble. Big Bandy, tackled by Malloy. Flips it to the back, looking for Leach. Malloy, handball towards Ingerson. And he's been harassed out of it by Edwards. And a throw in on centre wing. And, well, he has been a little quiet in this second quarter. The captain, Ben Allen, off the ground to be replaced by Godden. A minute, 3/4 left in the first half.
Viney trying to get it out. Bandy. Ingerson with him. Pack developing.
It's a great win for Melbourne and Brett Lovett, isn't it? To have he's had 9 possessions, Brett Lovett, and Ben Allen's had very little of the ball, although not so little that I thought they would have taken him off the ground. Maybe it's more something that we're not aware of.
Bandy, Ingerson over the top. Leach trying to get a hand on it. Does Edwards. No one still to break through. Edwards' little give has called a throw. Melbourne's free kick out of Muse or Todd Viney. Muse's got it at that centre wing. His kick towards Nettlebeck and out of play. So coming on Tingay, Uze off.
Fremantle have changed the structure of their forward line a little with Mann at full forward and Bandy at centre half forward. Melbourne had to alter their back line a little because Ridley came off the ground. One tall player off, shorter player on.
Mitchell and Obbs. Obbs runs across in front. Mitchell, well played. Callahan, good give to Hines. Hines had to try and squeeze it. He ran out of room. And Mark paid to Seacamp. Looked as if it might have been touched off the boot, but Seacamp awarded it. Hopgood trying a little Fremantle action. Seacamp, it's got a bit of time because it was Viney that was close to him. Steins his target. Nettlebeck nearly cleaned him up, but a good grab by Steins at centre wing. Comes away. Late goal either way here. Could be pretty important. Gets it to 50. Turley at the back road. Well, goes for goal. He's missed. It's a behind. And Melbourne up to 6-5 to 5-9. Turley a lot of touches. He's at 12 or 13 in this first half. And that might be it until half-time. Madigan. You doubt whether Fremantle could score. Madigan's going long. McManus the target, taking the mark. Goes back. And the siren sound, so time's beaten that Docker forward movement. And at half-time, in what looks to be a thriller at the Wacker, it's Melbourne by a couple of points. They lead 6-5 to Fremantle 5-9. So we start the second half here in Perth on Friday Night Football with Melbourne just leading Fremantle by a couple of points. The Demons to go to the right of screen, the Dockers to the left. And Viney, as he's been so good in the first half, gets the first kick of the second half appropriately, but this one straight to O'Reilly at centre half back. And Ingerson looks like he's gone forward for Melbourne.
And Meeks has gone actually to full back, which is an interesting move.
Ben Allen chips back to O'Reilly. So nothing gained here for Fremantle, but they now set it up to Chisholm, who's got a paddock and can come away, goes back to O'Reilly, and then chips away. A danger here, Phoebe to cut it off. Good hip and shoulder by Chisholm. Farmer goes to ground, back towards Stein. It's off his boot. Chisholm couldn't control it, out of play. So just a bit of toing and froing from Fremantle's point of view. There's the bench, Clarkson on the right and Uze. Couldn't quite see who was in the centre there. Mitchell, who had about 17 touches in the first half. That's Need off the boot. Coops couldn't quite, came off his knees. Viney's handball missed its target. Edwards' tackle okay. McManus. Here's young Coops, the 17-year-old. Away with a bounce. Left footer, good. To man.
That'll give him some confidence, Bruce.
He's like a young colt, Coops, isn't he? Plenty of leg. He dashed away there.
Right up in the paper was quite impressive. He's a nephew, I think, of Bill Dempsey, who played a lot of football in the Western Australian Football League, and big raps on that young fella.
Well, he's within distance, man. We saw him kick a long torpedo from the boundary, which set up the Abraham goal in the opening half. He missed one in the first half. He's the leading goal kicker of the club so far this season, and was last year, man. Off the boot, reasonable, but fading away. Big fly by Abraham. Magnificent. What a mark. It's brought the house down. It came from nowhere. kick a goal, surely. This man with so much class, just checking it out.
Out onto the left foot. I'll guess to out onto the left foot.
He does a checks and puts it through. That is one of the big plays of the year.
Chris, there's a little running battle going on between him and Hopgood. Abraham decked Brett Lovett at the start of this quarter, and off the football, they've had a nice little to-do. So to kick this goal, I think Winston Abraham will be pretty happy.
David Nooch hasn't had a good night, but he's been involved in one of the marks of the round at least, as the step ladder.
Gee, what a player he is. 3 goals, and there's a free kick coming down here to Wills against Melbourne.
It's like poetic justice, Bruce, after the Collingwood game last week for the Dockers.
Yeah, so Cow just checking everything out, and Andrew Wills getting a free kick, so Melbourne have gone from a couple of points in front. They might be a couple of kicks behind in a moment. Wills normally kicks these. Oh, he's let him down. That's a real miss. But anticlimactic anyway. He's kicked 3 points tonight, Wills. 6-10 to 6-5. Well, Abraham's mark and goal, a gem. Collectively, a gem as Cowder kicked the ball in.
Gee, I think if they're going to win the game, they've got to nail those chances, because there haven't been many real clean opportunities at kicking goals. Cow, indecisive. Umpire now calls him to kick it, which he does. Outside 50 metres, the marking contest. There's no marking contest. It's a beauty taken by Bandy. Bandy is outside the 50-metre region. I saw him kick a big goal a couple of weeks ago, and it may have been against the Swans in Sydney, but on this occasion he drops it into the square. Wills, kicked out of the air by Coops. David Neitz couldn't take it away. The Demon defence under enormous pressure down there, only 20 metres from the Dockers' goal. It's handballed back. Man, left foot kick. Oh, should have been marked by young Coops. Eventually knocked over for a rush behind to the Fremantle side. So, added pressure. It's the Fremantle bench. 6-11 to 6-5. Dockers lead. Coop to bring it back in.
Callaghan and Godden a couple on interchange, and it might have been Harding the other one. Now Cow told to go, kicks to Neitz, gets him. It's a good kick. Didn't have a lot of the football Neitz in the opening half. He gets it almost to centre wing. Oh, good stretch to Bandy against Phoebe. Obviously he had the advantage with height, but it was a nice mark. Then short. Mitchell. It's his 21st possession. Short to Bandy. He's an awkward kick, that Bandy, but he's pretty effective when he goes for goal. Kicked a beautiful goal in Sydney when we were there on that Sunday, Robbo, from the pocket. This one much more orthodox, but he kicks from 50, or goes around, and goes for goal and kicks it! Well, this game's lively now with Abraham's mark and goal, and then Bandy with a bit of fancy stuff. 7-11 to 6-5.
It's pretty exhilarating stuff. Actually, Bandy's playing forward on David Neitz, but he was out to protect the zone on the kick-ins, and that's why Neitz was put a long way from him, and Jimmy Steins ended up standing the mark, even though David Hines is direct opponent, but he backed his speed and his agility, and really a fantastic finish.
Top effort by Bandy to get the Fremantle side 7th goal. Melbourne get it towards half forward, and the mark is taken by Farmer, just a little bit away from Chisholm. So Jeffrey Farmer, he's 50 metres from goal. Not quite sure. Now he elects to kick it high into the square. No mark. What can Melbourne do? They can nearly get a goal through Andrew Obst. Just misses off to the right-hand side. So Melbourne's first score of the second half is a behind. There's Abraham. Well, he's taken the mark of the night. 7-11 to 6-6. And a little bit of a chuckle. Have a look at that. Little bit of gamesmanship between those two players. Kick in by Chisholm finds Madigan. Madigan at left half back can go down to the player on his own, Norrish. He marks, he can play on, gives the handball over the top to kick it around onto his right foot, bangs it into the centre. Precision. McManus to Ben Allen. Ben Allen goes long across the half-forward line. And a good mark taken by Darren Cowell at half-back for Melbourne. Looks to play on. Trying to catch that Fremantle defence out of position. Farmer gathers. Gets it back to O'Brien. O'Brien, a kick towards half-forward, nearly taken by Steins. Held on to, according to the umpire. Being called to play on. The pass is okay, and Nettlebeck is marked within scoring distance for Melbourne. The player on the mark is about 45 metres from goal. So Craig Nettlebeck. Jimmy Steins was awarded the free kick. He was allowed to play on. Nettlebeck on his own. Dale kick it a little late. So we have Craig Nettlebeck to shoot for goal. 7-11 plays 6-8. The kick by Nettlebeck is offline to the right and through for a behind.
6-6, Robbo. Sorry, mate. It was 6-6.
6-7 now, is it? Yep. 6-7 to 7-11. Fremantle lead by 10 points.
And David Neitz back at the Melbourne's forward line for Anthony, because I think Neitz has to be there for Melbourne to win the game. Neitz just has to start getting some ball across half forward.
Edwards after Chisholm's accurate kick, then Dale kick it running on. Turley might have hurt himself too for Melbourne. Short to Wheels. Oh, bad mistake. Cowell. Steins, not a bad option out of the air. And always a difficult one there. Turley is in a bit of strife, I think. Farmer's handball missed Viney. Turley has a go in there. But just see him get up here. Just a moment ago, he was look, he was carrying a leg injury. No, he's picked himself up reasonably. Just a little bit of a limp. 6-7 to 7-11. Melbourne have just got to stand up now and hang on, because it was threatening to get away. Viney, Norrish. Now Chisholm, quick kick off the side of the boot. O'Brien, 27-year-old, making his second game here for Melbourne. He played against the Blues last week in just his second appearance in AFL at 27 years of age. Was recruited from West Perth at the end of last year.
No, a fair bit about his opposition then, you would think.
Sure would. Steins and Hines. Been interesting duel. Hines probably had the better, though. Jimmy will keep going. Edwards. Turley. And was that off his boot? But not out of play. So it's going to be a throw-in. So a little bit of a lull here after a very exciting start to the second half with the Abraham mark and goal, and then the Bandy run around and goal. And they're two of the big favourites here, Abraham and Bandy. McManus onto it. Run down very well at the back and gone for holding the ball. Tingay's free kick at centre wing. It's had 5-2 Tingay. Came back last week after an injury. Off Phoebe. Brett Lovett, left foot. Wobbler, but gets it back to 50. Off Smith. Leach to mop up, and at centre half-back touches it down once, and then on the left goes to Ben Allen.
And it was a good kick too, because he's a natural right foot. Ben Allen's kick not quite so good. Out to the feet there of Andrew Wills. Wills can't quite control the footy, and it goes over, and you could see Ben Allen just bash his hip in frustration there, because he really did let his teammate down. Chisholm and Farmer having a little to-do off the football as the boundary umpire throws it in. Steins gets it down beautifully to Lovett. Hobbs just caught. Luckily got his left foot to it. Brett Lovett, well, under pressure there, and a free kick now will go to Todd Viney. He may have been a little fortunate. McManus, the infringing player for the Dockers. So the football with Todd Viney, he's just in front of the wing, and he'll kick inside 50 for Melbourne in the direction there of Neitz. The ball hits the ground and it just trundles over for a throw-in. So not much happening for Melbourne in the early part of the third term. The Dockers have added quite nicely to their score from half-time. They've kicked 2 goals, one from Bandy and one from Abraham. Both certain degree of sensationalism. This is Mitchell. He's a goer. He's going to get a free kick. Held onto. Had got rid of the football. No. Yes, he is. Mitchell at left half-back for Fremantle. kicks in the direction of McManus. McManus has taken a safe chest mark. Still in the defensive half for Fremantle. McManus goes long, kicks to left half forward. Mark quite simply taken in the finish by Seacamp over Ridley.
Got a lot out of Ridley tonight, the Dockers. Seacamp pushes it out to Tingay. Not a lot gain. Tingay very wide, right in front of our commentary position. Hope you're enjoying Friday night footy right around Australia on the 7 Network as Tingay goes to half forward. Niddlebeck was in the front. Turley with him kick it. Back to Brett Lovett, measures it to the pocket. Will it get to Neitz? It does. Well done too by Neitz. He made some ground. Now these are the goals he's got to kick. In the pocket, he's only 35 to 40 metres out. It was a terrific get by Neitz. He charged at it and took it.
Actually, yes, he's gone to full forward. That's the way Melbourne have restructured their forward line. Neitz at full forward and Smith and Nettleback out at half forward. And Stephen O'Reilly, as he's done all night, whenever Neitz has been in the forward line, has picked him up.
Neitz' kick, and he never really gave it a chance. So he's kicked 1 goal to Neitz. And Melbourne go to 6-8 to 7-11. Chisholm, short. Ben Allen. Just 11 kicks, Allen. No handballs. First one about to come up, maybe. Yes, goes over. Put Leach under a great deal of pressure. Back to O'Reilly.
Well, in the finish, they could have got a clean possession down the ground, but right at the end there, it was all pressure provided by Melbourne, and the ball is held up on centre wing. So it just pays to hang in there, just keep chasing and harassing. Melbourne have a 50-50 chance now of gaining possession on centre wing. Up high was Bandy, taken by McManus, tries to get it back to Bandy. Now to Edwards, confronted by O'Brien, and just helped over the line for a boundary throw-in. Exactly on centre wing. 7-11 to 6-8, a 9-point advantage. Steins gets it down. Tackled well was Mitchell, and the umpire will bounce once again.
Delicious situation off the ball. Young Jeff Farmers tries to draw Scott Chisholm out of the play, but Chisholm just plays about 25 metres from him between him and the ball, which and all the percentages, of course, are with Chisholm in that positioning.
Melbourne get the ball up towards half forward. Nettlebeck crashes his way out through the pack. Couldn't take the mark. Eventually taken over by Jones. So another throw-in. Not much happening out on that far wing. 2 or 3 boundary throw-ins. The ruckman being worked over time. Neither side can gain any sort of ascendancy. Jimmy Steins gets to Matthew Phoebe. He's got no one really to handball to. The pressure provided there by Fremantle. And again, that boundary umpire out there on that far side of the ground will throw it in again for about the 5th time in the last 3 or 4 minutes.
Just a bit of a flat spot in the game again after the exciting opening of the second half. Steins pushes forward with a handball. Jones caught by Smith. Obbs' little gift. Phoebe high tackle, free kick. He's about 55 out. Too far for Phoebe, you would think.
I think Andrew Obbs was lucky. Quick little handball, wasn't it?
Now Phoebe's going to go short to Obbs. Couldn't make it. So a big turnover here as Jones comes away. McManus his target. Viney going with him. Puts his hands on him, holds him up. Coops cut off by Malloy. Ridley stopped by Seacamp. Gets a second go. Viney with pure strength in the end to Tingay, to Farmer. Well played Melbourne to get out of it. Farmer chips to Nettlebeck, couldn't take it, gets a second go, gets a beautiful bounce, quickly onto the boot, a floater to full forward, getting back was Neitz. Now Obbs, still with Obbs, hasn't quite taken possession. O'Brien back turns, tackled, good tackle. Smith off the ground, getting back, kicking. Under pressure, handball to Godden, got him in the back pocket. Out wide, gets it to O'Reilly, good play by the Dockers. O'Reilly in trouble! Gets rid of it after a bounce, run down by Smith, out of play, half back.
The last 5 minutes, Melbourne have really done a good job to stabilise the game. All the momentum early in the quarter was with Fremantle, but their chasing and tackling and pressure has flattened the game, maybe Bruce, but stabilised it, I think, in Melbourne's favour.
9 points in favour of Fremantle. Boundary throw in. Obbs grabbed a little high. So he'll take the free kick. 50 metres from goal for the Demons. Andrew Obst, yet to kick a goal tonight. Going for the short pass. The lead provided by Steins, and he's marked. Ridley to come off for Fremantle, but the football is with Jimmy Steins.
I think it's been noticeable this quarter that Steins has pushed well forward for Melbourne, right into the half forward and into that even forward 50-metre area. And in fact, David Hines was interchanged because Steins was getting clear, and Bandy is now his ruck opponent.
Very skillful, Jimmy Steins, and he's hit the post. So probably a disappointing result when he was reasonably close in. Just perhaps tried to steer it a little bit, but he's been fairly successful as a goal kicker. Chisholm to kick in, and that is effective. The mark is taken by Madigan.
Off half-back. Will's a target. Cowell with him. Seacamp never really had control of the football. And a pack developing. And it's going to be a bounce. Ben Allen having a spell in the forward pocket. Brett Lovett going with him. Steins, Hines now back on the ball. Pushed off at O'Brien. By Leach. Dale kick it. Oh, well played, but Steins trying to get through. Finally got a handball away, but there'll be another bounce. 9 kicks, 7 handballs. Not bad statistics for Steins. Hines got 11 and 3. We had the better of it early, Hines, but Steins coming back. 50-50. Here's Mitchell. Bursts away. Good mark though by Seacamp, who's having a good game. To Brett Lovett, then neatly to Andrew Obst. Some experience there for Melbourne. Obst at half back. Niddlecky's target. Chisholm. Coops. Little gift to Jones, and good buck there with Lovett being involved, and it'll be a throw-in right in front of us here with the Demons 6-9 and Fremantle 7-11.
It's a game where it's still engrossing, isn't it? Only 13 goals kicked between the two teams, but still a lot of interest in this close checking tactics by both sides. They can see perhaps that give an inch and the opposition can take a mile. 5.5 minutes.
It's Melbourne that are initiating the close tactics. Really, that's been an admirable performance by Melbourne. Their bodies have really been going in hard, and whatever happens, they've really, they've made it a physical game.
Tingay tries to get the ball clear, and again, players throwing themselves on it. Very important that that ball doesn't spill out to any of the opposition in both cases, whether it be a Dockers player that can break clear or a Melbourne player that can break clear. The bounce on centre wing. So still only just over a kick in it. Steins gets an effective tap down, only as far as Mitchell. Turley tries to knock it forward for Hopgood, but it's taken over for another boundary throw-in.
I think we've seen what Witts and Abraham can do if he gets clear. Hopgood is not allowing any breath of fresh air between the two of them. He's got his body pushing into him. Well, he hasn't there, but every other time he has.
Well, he's a chance to get a position there, but it's snapped up by Mitchell. Little kick for Godden, knocked away by Steins. He's a hard worker, Jimmy Steins. Effective tackle. No free kick. This is Godden off his left foot, floating kick. Wills couldn't take the mark. Cowell following it over for another boundary throw-in. So with just 4.5 minutes left before three-quarter time, you can see this being a tight struggle all the way down to the final siren. Godden with the football. Kicks it back towards the middle of the ground. Contest here. Abraham handballs it out into the path of Dale Kicker. He runs in. Can he kick his second goal? No. Pretty ordinary kick in the finish. Way offline. It's missed the behind post by 15 or 20 metres. So boundary throw in right forward pocket for Fremantle. Only 20 metres around.
Ingerson at the back, Bandy the front, O'Brien, good handball to Obst, can go for a run. Oh, Giovanni in trouble. Yeah, looks in real strife. That's a very bad luck for Melbourne in the short and long term. Turley tries to get rid of it, can't. Obst, Abraham, who's been very creative. He set kick it up a moment ago. Bandy. Melbourne trying like mad just to hang on here. And off the ground, and poor old Todd Viney. And this could be the moment of the match, really, Lee, in many ways.
Well, he's just been superb. He's just led the Melbourne charge in the middle of the packs, and really to pick it up, 22 possessions in this part of the game, it's going to be a great challenge for the rest of the Melbourne midfield to make up for his absence.
They're all going to have to step up, aren't they? Obst over the top of it. Mann trying to get through. Godden gets it to Mitchell, to Chisholm. Clever. Waits. Sets up Leach. Leach can kick from 50. A second bounce. Oh, hook and shoulder by Callaghan. Leach's kick is going to be a behind. Callaghan taking the Melbourne pursuer out. I think it might have been Tingay. And Fremantle 7-12 to 6-9. Was Tingay. So the margin increases back to 9 points. Viney off the ground. Be 100 to 1 to come back, you'd think. Short by Lovett and Hopgood in the back pocket.
3 minutes left in the quarter. Hopgood kicks it outside 50, out towards the half-back area. Nearly taken by Malloy. Gets the hand pass in the direction of Turley, back to Malloy. Then Steins, Primke, can't quite get past. The hand pass was probably meant for Matthew Phoebe. Clarkson's left foot kick towards the wing area. Gatherers by Dale kick it very, very skillfully, gets around. Then gets it to Mitchell. Mitchell backs himself. Geez, got scintillating pace. Just a lovely little sidestep. The kick towards full forward. Now the Melbourne defence under enormous pressure. Cowell, that was a little indiscriminate there by Winston Abraham. And Cowell will take the free kick on the full back line for Melbourne. Looking to get Melbourne out of trouble. He finds O'Brien. O'Brien is out at right half back. His left foot kick is neat in the direction of Steins. But they've outnumbered Melbourne 3-2. Dale Pickett will run away from his fellow number 11. Then gets it to Norris, but he's thundered into the ground. Matthew Phoebe to Malloy. Malloy in a little bit of strife, but able to get through was Brett Lovett. Brett Lovett's kick to right half forward will bounce in a free zone. Getting down there is Madigan. Madigan's left foot kick is very neat. Just a little too far there for David Hines, and it's taken over by O'Brien. Boundary throw in centre wing, and with 1 3/4 minutes left in the third quarter, Dwayne Lamb has a report.
Pretty obvious with that Viney hamstring. He took him an age to get to the bench, and he won't be back on his ice enough.
Turley's kick, a quick kick. Oh, Smith, that's a good grab. Had the right arm hurled and took it in the left. It goes on short to Turley now, who can go on. He's deep in the pocket. Pretty good by Turley. He's got it. That's a great goal by Craig Turley, his second tonight. And this has been a very effective 10 minutes for Melbourne, Lee, because things have not gone their way, yet they've been able to hang on and, in fact, reduce the margin.
Yes, they have. It's sort of, they've just tightened up the game again after Fremantle looked like getting clear at the start of the quarter. And really good individual effort by Smith. Really, it was just a one-on-one marking drill, and then a good use of Turley. Good accurate kick from an angle. So game's in the balance again.
So the bounce back at the centre. Jimmy Steins has done a terrific job for Melbourne, rucking at most of those centre bounces and boundary throw-ins. There's a terrific mark. Gee, it's exciting football when you see the likes of Dale Pickett, Abraham, Chisholm, Mitchell, and on the other hand, Jeffrey Farmer for Melbourne. The ball at half forward for the Dockers. It's taken over there by Primke. And another lesson that I've learned tonight, that coaches do watch a game of football with quite a deal of composure. Neil Barnes sitting down in front of us here, just about to go down to address his players for the three-quarter time huddle. But it's still a minute of well, close, tough football to be played here at the Wacker. The Dockers have the lead, but it's only a very, very small margin. 3 points, and we're in the dying seconds now of the third quarter.
Primke, Matthew Phoebe had to be quick, he was, to centre wing, good take, Turley, then handballed in front, well played by Kickett, Turley's got him, and it's holding the ball. It was a contest, wasn't it? First one man and then the other had the edge. Turley with a couple of goals has been a good player. Goes to half forward. and Jones pushes away from Littlebeck and out of play. 7-12 to 7-9. Gerard Neesham having a look on. Here's the battle between Kickett and Turley, which was a good one. And a free kick going to Fremantle from the boundary throw-in. But Hines unable to take the kick as a siren sounds. And at three-quarter time, there's just 3 points in at 7-12 to 7-9.
Yeah, a fantastic game, really. I think it's an engrossing game. The margin's been fairly close. Fremantle looked like they were going to get clear just a couple of times, but Melbourne have hung in there and just kept coming and coming. And got a 3-point margin at three-quarter time. And it's been a good, hard game. It's going to be a question of which team can just finish out the stronger.
Well, a memorable quarter in lots of ways, but particularly Lee and Robbo for what happened early in the term with this fantastic mark. But at three-quarter time, it's 7-12 to 7-9, and we leave you at three-quarter time with the Abraham Screamer. First half, he's the leading goal kicker at the club so far this season and was last year, man. Off the boot, reasonable, but fading away. Big fly by Abraham. Magnificent. Just checking it out.
Out onto the left foot. I'll guess to out onto the left foot.
He does a checks up and puts it through. That is one of the big plays of the year. So the last quarter about to start at the cricket ground here in Perth on Friday night football with Melbourne 3 points behind the Dockers. The Demons will kick to the left in the final term. Edwards, high they say. Is coming down and gets a free kick. Kicks to half forward. Long lead Bandy. Ingerson with him. Pushes forward. And Hopgood out of play.
To get the start of that quarter, Uze, Malloy and Obst were the three players in the centre square for Melbourne, and that's pretty much a new three in the centre square. Maybe Neil Barn wants to get the fresh players in there just to play out this last quarter.
Primke at the back, taken by Hopgood, and that handball going out of play. So they're throwing again, 54 to 51. Primke, wheels, high ball. It's about 20 metres from goal. Punch away came from Ingerson at the back. Ben Allen after it, but out of play. And it'll be another throw in about 30 metres away, right forward pocket. There's the Docker bench. 7-12, 7-9. Really important game for both clubs here. Fremantle to maintain its place in the 8. Melbourne just to keep its poor start sort of alive here. They're well and truly out of it at the moment, but Allen from the pocket, that's a fantastic goal by the captain. And Fremantle get a little break at 8 goals, 12 to 7-9.
Riley, the goal to decide the game, really. I mean, that was really just a really difficult shot, but he steadied, he balanced, he did everything he could. And a beautifully balanced kick, Ben Allen, and never better has he kicked the ball than that absolutely straight kick from a very, very acute angle.
Well, two experienced players have kicked goals from that right forward pocket. Craig Turley kicked one for Melbourne in the third quarter, and Ben Allen a telling goal in the early part of the last quarter. The ruckmen go at it. Callaghan shows courage. Uze the tackler, but it's taken away by Gonton. Gonton's kick towards full forward. At the back there was Ingerson. He tries to knock it clear, but not clear enough. Bandy, Ben Allen across his left shoulder. A snapshot, he hooks it a little bit too far. But it goes through for a very important point in a low-scoring game. 8-13 to 7-9, the margin is 10 points. Irving yet to have a run. Clarkson has been on the bench a couple of times during the evening. Cowell to kick in. Seacamp provides the lead. But Cowell still to make his mind up. Now he goes long, outside 50 metres. It bounces in front of Jimmy Steins and eventually over for a boundary throw in about 75 to 80 metres from the Dockers goal. They lead by 10 points. An important first goal, kicked by their captain Ben Allen. of this last quarter. They may go forward again. Callaghan gets the hand pass. Godden, 2 possessions early in the last term. The kick to full forward. Excellent mark taken by Ingerson. Gets the hand pass away to Primke. Primke, no one to go to. He's going to get caught. Then gets the handball back to Hopgood. Needs a chance to get run down, but he's backed up there by Brett Lovett. The bounce was favourable. He shrugs the tackle and then kicks it out towards the wing, and in front of his face, the mark is taken by Nettlebeck.
Long way from home. Melbourne a couple of kicks behind. High ball to half forward. Smith the target. The kicker took his run. He's going to get a free kick here. Long way out again. Still at right half forward. Goes into towards the pocket. Neats and O'Reilly. Chisholm at the back. Gets away with a handball. The tackle by Neats just held him up a bit. Hines to McManus. Inside to Jones. Jones awkward but gets to Godden. Back to McManus. McManus then to half forward. Allen the target. He worked Lovett under it. Lovett did pretty well actually to stretch. Then the pressure put on by Cow. Allen all over the top of him. Lovett, O'Brien. Back to Tingay. Round the body. Nettlebeck needs a favourable bounce. Gets it inside Malloy. Quick hands needed. Probably Phoebe the first target. Then went to Nettlebeck. Controls it inside. Turley kept it there. He's 50 metres out. It's a good kick off the boot by Turley. It's a goal. A beauty. Three terrific goals to Craig Turley. So nearly matching Ben Allen's effort at the other ground, and it's at the other end of the ground. It's 8-13 to 8-9.
Well, they just won't lie down, Melbourne. They're showing enormous courage. Every time Fremantle look like getting clear, they get that goal to come back. Craig Turley went into the forward line as play started the quarter there rather than his on-ball roll, but in goals are hard to get. That was a very, very valuable kick.
Dockers lead by 4 points, so very important these centre breaks. And you can see the players desperate not to allow any advantage. The umpire will bounce it once again. Magnificent kick by Turley. He's kicked 2 sensational goals. The knock favours Melbourne. Dale Kickett backs himself. In there somewhere was Mitchell. He's still a chance to get the ball clear, and he does. Edwards, grabbed by Tingay, terrific tackle. Obst gets past onto his right foot. He kicks towards full forward. Neats out in front, couldn't take the mark. Madigan grab, kick forward by Phoebe. Not allowed. Free kick against Neats. Appealing again, doesn't quite know what it's for, but could have been holding Madigan when he got rid of the football.
Yeah, I think we criticised a couple earlier. Can't criticise that one. I think that was, good decision.
So Madigan has the football for the Dockers, only 35 metres from the Melbourne goal. Quite see what Matthew Phoebe's kick did, Bruce. It was a goal, was it? It rattled through, so Demons a bit stiff. The kick by Madigan goes back towards the middle of the ground. The bounce favours Dale Kickett. He can't get past. Obst provides the contest. Now Callaghan comes away. Kicks across the middle of the ground. It rebounds for Tingay. Tingay will put Melbourne back into attack. It'll land at centre half forward. Nearly the mark taken by Nettlebeck. Godden takes the football away. Handball back towards the middle. Callaghan gives away a bit of ground, but Chisholm backs himself. Runs away from Farmer. Now who can he kick it to? He stops in midstream, and the wobbly punt kick to half forward. Not really what the forwards like to sit underneath. Losing the football there was Abraham, but he goes after it. This is young Coops. Cover yourself in glory. Magnificent goal. Kicked by young Stephen Coops. He's only had a couple of touches, but that's an important kick in the career of a young man, 17 years of age. Gets Fremantle's 9th goal.
Well, I think he's looked like a young player for most of the game. Really, I think the pressure and tempo of the game has found him out. But on that occasion, the ball fell for him, and when he had his chance to finish, he did it. And that's a great thing for his confidence. Very good effort.
(67-57). Demons out of the centre through Tingay. Ridley's come on for Fremantle and gone into defence. Smith, good mark. Kicked a couple of goals, Smith. Goes wide, neats the target. He's going to be their big chance in the last quarter, and he's got it. Hasn't kicked well tonight. He did kick a goal in the opening term, missed a couple since. This absolutely vital. Must kick this.
Yes, he's good. Smith got the ball out in front to at least give Neitz the chance to use his body to get the best position, which he succeeded in doing. For most of the night, Stephen O'Reilly has just been on top of this particular one-on-one duel.
So the big kick coming up from Neitz, and again, he's kicked poorly. 1-3.
It's amazing. If you're having a bad night, it's even when you get a chance to have the shot, your confidence is down, and Neitz is sort of really just, things just aren't falling for him in this particular game.
Chisholm.
Good kick.
That's a great
Beautiful kick
to Callaghan, isn't it? Edwards provided a shorter lead, and Callaghan filled a space, and he kicked it straight to him. Peter Mann's been pretty quiet. Dockers wanting 50, but not getting it. They lead 9-13 to 8-10. Oh, good fly by McManus, not paid. Obbs tried to crash through. Cow's little kick. Callaghan getting touches in the final term. High tackle. Bad luck for Melbourne because he was gone, Callaghan.
I thought he was a bit fortunate, Bruce, the way the umpiring decisions have gone, because he had one chance to get rid of it and he ducked back.
He just got
high tackle.
Just got him too high, Robert.
Oh, he could have moved it on.
Callaghan goes towards Coops and Seacamp. Brett Lovett, who's done a good job. Turley, well, that was good play by Turley. He won a free kick, and it'll come back to Turley. No advantage in the end.
That is very good umpiring. I mean, he was going to play the advantage, but it just didn't turn out that way, and wisely brought the ball back. I think being able to bring back the advantage rule is a good thing that's been brought into umpiring interpretations over the last 12 months.
There's a few Dockers supporters down there thought it was an ordinary decision.
It's a matter of how far play can go on before you draw it back.
That was the limit, don't you, Lee?
No, that was the limit.
But Turley did well because he went to ground and then controlled the ball and won himself a free kick. Steins, who had a big third term, gives it off to Obbs.
Obbs plays on quickly, tries to get it in towards centre-half forward for Smith, but it's chopped off by Chisholm. He's a very exciting player, and so is this boy, Dale Pickett. Gotten can go further wide. Can Bandy outrun his opposition? No, he can't. Can this guy outrun his opposition? Have a look at Abraham go. Oh, stand up and applaud Winston Abraham. If he doesn't win the goal of the year, he's had 2 or 3 already in the first 5 rounds.
I like the way he put the ball behind his back. Have a look at this. If he didn't change the ball behind his back, it just fell out of his hands. No, not quite, but really a beautiful. It's just fantastic when you see a player can really turn and kick accurately from that 55 metres. He is an absolute, doesn't get many chances, but a beautiful finisher when he does.
Well, what a magic moment in the sport that was, with Abraham tucking the ball behind his back and then blasting beautifully from 55 for his 4th goal. 10-13 to 8-10. 10 possessions and 4 goals to Abraham. He's a game breaker tonight by the look of it. McManus, quick kick. Can Melbourne come again? They have all night. Uze off to Hopgood. Hopgood wide, but Chisholm onto it. Takes the mark. Loves to run. Draw the opponent. Kicks to Abraham. Will he take Hopgood on here? Decides not to. Just leisurely kicks to 55 metres to the goal front. Ingerson at the back. Will's gone. He's had a poor night. Bandy couldn't get a handle on it. Obston Cow to try and take it off him. It looked like Callaghan on the bottom of that. And it'll be a bounce. It's 73 to 58. And Fremantle, that might be the biggest margin so far tonight. Matthew Phoebe coming off. And Alistair Clarkson coming on. Just letting him know a thing or two about where he was playing. But the Dockers by 2.5 goals. Primke took it out of the air. Couldn't get rid of it. And Lee, you just feel now that Melbourne can't afford another goal against them.
Now, 3 goals to deficit already is going to be difficult for Melbourne to pick up another goal. I think in a low-scoring game would be impossible.
So the bounce at centre-half forward for Fremantle. Down goes Andrew Obbs, the tackle by Peter Mann, deemed as too high. And just holding his face there, Andrew Obbs, as if that tackle may have cracked him in the eye. Pretty tough customer under normal circumstances, so maybe just a flick in the eye in the finish. So the trainer just calling there for a little bit more attention for Andrew Obst. But the free kick will be taken by a Melbourne teammate. Now the umpire blows that the all clear is for Brett Lovett to continue the game. His kick goes in towards the middle of the ground. Mark is taken by Tingay. Tingay to play on for Cowell. Cowell's kick in towards half forward, and the mark is taken there by Nettlebeck. So Melbourne mounting a challenge. They've got to kick 3 goals to wrest the lead back from the Dockers. That is, if they can keep the Dockers scoreless. Going to be a difficult task. Callaghan's kick is brilliantly taken out there by Leach. Leach at left half back for Fremantle.
Goes long and has McManus in a panic. It was a terrific kick. McManus quickly on. Goes to full forward. Coops the target. He's got it. Well, that was very decisive, wasn't it, from the back line on. And a wonderful build-up. Seacamp unable to punch away. And young Coops, who's had 3 kicks but kicked a really important goal when things were very tight early in this final term. Kicks from 45, gets under it, kicks it high. It was hooking towards the end. He's got it. 2 last quarter goals by the 17-year-old. And maybe now the resistance has gone from Melbourne. It's 11-13 to 8-10.
Yes, he'll kick many more goals in his league career, I would think, young Coop, but the 2 goals in this final quarter, in the context of the winning of this game for the Dockers, has been extremely valuable. It's interesting down there, the Melbourne forward line. Jeff Farmer's playing so wide that he can't. Scott Chisholm is always in the right position.
So now the advantage is 21 points in favour of Fremantle with 10 minutes left. A big ask for Melbourne. Malloy can't get past Peter Mann. And he was probably a bit fortunate that he wasn't penalised there, trying to break through that tackle. And he's going to give the free kick away. A little indiscretion there by Malloy. Mann with the kick in towards full forward. Nearly taken by Seacamp, but Coops, he goes in. Look at the skill of this young fella. Oh, it just bounces off to the right. So his confidence growing with every second of this game.
You can just see that really he's overawed by this whole game, but it's just his natural ability is enabling him just still to make a contribution, Coop. But, you know, it's a big ask for a young fella to all of a sudden be, you know, elevated to senior level.
And an even younger fella making his debut for West Coast tomorrow, and David Wirapunda. The kick by Lovett, taken by Hines. Good kick towards Bandy, who now goes to ground. Coops in there with Ingerson and forced through from behind. 11-15 to 8-10. It's a good vision by David Hines there. Gave Bandy a chance, didn't he? So Brett Lovett again. Melbourne needing 4 goals from here. Gee, they've battled well, the Demons, tonight. The Viney hamstrings left them a bit to underman. Goes wide. He was looking for Cow. Malloy didn't have possession. Godden's hip and shoulder on the Cow. Then McManus back, but gave up ground and gave it away to O'Brien. O'Brien came in for David Grant tonight, who was obviously injured after the team was picked or didn't come up. Now, Steins at centre wing. They're not going to get many more chances, Melbourne. They've got to use them. A good take by Nettlebeck, not paid. Maybe Clarkson had first hands on it, off the ground by Clarkson. Stopped by Godden. Handball didn't go far. Melbourne through Obst. Never really took control. Free kick to Fremantle, I think, against Obst. After he lost control of the footy, he was all over the top of his opponent. And Callaghan has been busy in this last quarter with fresh legs. Takes the mark and squares it off to McManus.
16 possessions for Callaghan. McManus running across the half-back line. Eventually goes very short. Farmer nearly chopped it off. Chisholm looked to hand pass. Well, I don't know whether he planned that, but it came back to him, and then he got it towards Edwards. Edwards kicked close to the line. Oh, nearly done well there by Ben Allen. But it just carries over the line for a throw-in. 11-15 to 8-10, so that's 23 points now as O'Brien comes off the ground. And big Dean Irving to have his first run for the night for Melbourne. Boundary throw in, 55 metres from the Dockers goal. Ben Allen beaten for it in height by Primke. Down to Brett Lovett. Smith in a little bit of strife. Getting a kick was Mitchell, but it was smothered off the boot. Obst gets it to Primke. Primke's kick is near the wing, and a free kick down the ground. It may have been against the Dockers when Primke kicked the ball, and the free kick will go to Melbourne to be taken by Steins. You watch Primke, you just don't quite see it. The mark was taken by Edwards, but the free kick was paid to Melbourne down the ground. Edwards again. He's run down by Clarkson. The ball spills for McManus. Is the advantage there? Yes, it is. Godden for Fremantle. His kick finishes with Uze at half-back for Melbourne.
He's got a couple of loose men. Farmer, one of them. It's a kick just right. Yeah, Farmer made it all right. Then squares to Clarkson. In the heart of the centre square, Clarkson. He's going in the Neats direction, or Irving, I should say, has just come on. Callahan, another posse to kick it. Kick it to Abraham. Oh, it was a good kick. Cow had to hold him up. He's got Mitchell running. Will he find him? He will. Oh, it's a good kick, Abraham. And Mitchell was steady and probably finished Melbourne off. A lot of kicks, hasn't he? 18 and 8 marks, and he was very good early. Kicked a goal in the opening quarter, but again, good vision here by Abraham. When you look at the stats at the end of the match in just numbers, Abraham's not going to have as many, but the 4 goals and his creativity has been a factor in this match. Such an exciting player. Now Mitchell has been neat in his work tonight. That's it. Finishing all over them now, the Dockers. Mitchell with a couple of goals, so he puts a bit of cream on his work tonight. And Fremantle, as they've done all yearly, they've finished off very strongly. They're 12-15 to 8-10.
Well, it's just so good when the game starts to open up and it becomes a bit of rebound football, and late in the quarter or late in the game, it almost inevitably happens. Young Mitchell's played on a wing, just at the highest possession getter on the ground, fitting that he's probably put the final nail in the Melbourne coffin.
A big margin now for the Dockers, 29 points. Knocked forward there by McManus. And a free kick has been picked out by the umpire, who was very much Johnny on the spot there. Primke for Melbourne, the recipient. Not quite back to the middle of the ground is Paul Primke. His kick will land at centre half forward. No mark. Godden taken down heavily, and the umpire deems that as a free kick. Well, you quite wonder what the Melbourne player has to do, because Godden was about to take possession. Now he plays on quickly, gets it wide to Chisholm. Beautifully collected by Chisholm. Look at the pace. He's being chased by Farmer. Then he kicks into the pocket in the Coops direction. Seacamp gets his left hand to it and knocks it clear for a boundary throw in right forward pocket for Fremantle. Well, it's a different brand of footy, but it's an exciting brand of football by Fremantle. And they'll have another win, this time against Melbourne. 5.5 minutes left in the game. Hopgood gets it back. Turley in strife. And Abraham still trying to make something out of nothing, close to the line. The boundary umpire has deemed the ball over, so he'll throw it in about 25 metres around from the Dockers' goal. Ruckman to contest. Peter Mann and Primke. Mann gets it down to Turley. Turley finds some space, then tries to handball it to himself. He was held when he didn't have the football, according to the umpire. So Craig Turley will take the free kick. He goes across the half-back line and finds out there young Uze, just 18 years of age. Can't get past. Hand pass is very, very awkward for Seacamp, but Uze collects his composure and then kicks it back towards the middle. Taken away by Kickett. Says, see you later. Shrugs the tackle and then decides that a long bomb is the order of the night. And Coops gets his hands to it, couldn't control it. Over for another behind to the Dockers.
5-goal margin. Cow goes short. Steins, or good mark by Steins. And a terrific third quarter, and he has battled away all night. Brett Lovett, Craig Turley, his target. He's also had Some really good moments for Melbourne with these 3 goals. Hopgood, and under pressure, love it. He was able to get rid of Mitchell though. Then a bounce. Was trying to draw a man. Doesn't quite find Primke, but it set up nicely. And then Primke pushes towards Irving. Did he get one over the shoulder? Not paid. Neats in the pocket and out of play. 12-16 to 8-10. They've come a long time in a long way, I should say, in a short time, Fremantle, haven't they? Stein's just shrugging one off. As we remember, Robbo, we came here early last year for Friday night football against Geelong and Essendon. They were the new men on the block, but gee, they're a good side in a hurry. Farmer back to Clarkson. Oh, that's a sort of nothing kick. Conceding ground and just hoping. Nettlebeck in the pocket on the left, right to the front of the square. Getting back was Obst. Farmer tries to get it back towards Neats and got it away and out on the full. So Melbourne will take a kick from about 50 metres out.
Well, Tony Godden just a little disappointed there in the end result. Worked hard to get the ball clear, but gave away the free kick. This is Uze. Just under 4 minutes left. Uze, no one really on the mark, so he's able to get a few metres and then kick the ball long towards goal. Gee, it's pretty close. Just offline and through for one behind, kick by Adam Uze. So Melbourne 8-11 trail the Dockers 12-16. Chisholm's short kick. Well, maybe they're a little fortunate there. Godden, the bounce was good for him. Leach takes the hand pass and then kicks with his left foot down towards the wing. Not taken by Wills, but Mitchell, well, he's an exciting type too. Gets around and then kicks in towards the middle of the ground. David Hines is marked. Short kick by that player, taken by McManus. McManus goes in. Ordinary kick by McManus. Just scrapes in for one behind. Well, better players, most of them on the Fremantle side of the ledger, but Jimmy Steins has been terrific for Melbourne. Brett Lovett has played pretty well. And Craig Turley has been an honest trier. This is Bandy for Fremantle. Goes back and bangs it into the square. What a leap by Wills. Couldn't hang on to it. Not paid, it spills over for another behind to Fremantle. And Darren Cowell will kick it in. Have a look at that leap. He got a good grip of it too.
Don't mind jumping on the pack a few of these Fremantle players. They have a go at it.
Cowell chips to Clarkson. 12-18 to 8-11. And Clarkson goes back to Cowell. Gets around Ben Allen. Then comes wide out towards centre wing. Malloy and Edwards. Free kick to Malloy this time. Just hanging on Edwards. Malloy's first game this season. Hasn't had a lot of the ball. Into Primke, who started really well tonight. And just then it's been a bit of a battle as Fremantle is starting to get on top. Now that's untidy, but Cowell gets hold, back turns, then chips towards Neats. Ridley with him, and Ridley pretty happy to see that go out of play.
Bandy coming off for a rest.
And coming onto the ground, Norwich. Neats just hasn't been able to assert himself, has he, tonight? He's had a couple of chances to kick goals and missed. It's been a real struggle for him. Clarkson from Steins, as Robbo said, been a real go all night, Steins. Chisholm called the play on, no.
Bruce, you talk about the way that David Neats has struggled, but it's the way the Dockers have put pressure on the middle of the ground. Melbourne indiscriminate kicks into the forward line.
Chingay back to Wobbs. Let's see if they can set something up constructively here. Back to half forward. And Neats was at the back, Smith in the front.
But it's another bomb away, you know. I mean, there's no precision, is there?
And look at this, Ridley. Very wide, and it should... Well, it didn't really sit, but O'Reilly had plenty of time and
still got plenty of time, hasn't he? He finds Hines. Hines is in the centre of the ground. And... Oh, that's arrogance, isn't it? A big man, he's probably 6'4" plus, David Hines, took the ball and then threw it on his left foot and just banged it onto the chest of Peter Mann.
It's been the night of the running ruckman, hasn't it? David Hines has done well. Jimmy Steins has been excellent for Melbourne. You know, two really mobile ruckmen. They've covered heaps of ground and got plenty of the ball, both of them.
Well, man, it'd be a chance to score from here. He's kicking from 50 metres. It is a good kick to the line. I'd suggest it's covered the players and scored a goal. It is. So Peter Mann kicks his first goal for the evening in the dying seconds. And that scoreline now looking very convincing for Fremantle.
Yes, they're just too good in the very end here, Fremantle. A good goal. Mann hasn't been a dominating player. Prinky's done a good job on him, as Riley has on down the other end on Newts.
Big last term to the Dockers, 13-18 to 8-11. Mann with his first goal of the night in the last minute. Obbs back to Turley. Turley to full forward. Irving at the back. O'Reilly in the front. Comes to ground. And Nettlebeck was there. And it's going to be a bounce. 96 to 59. So after Melbourne has battled away all night, Fremantle are going to end up with a pretty handy win with a little bit of percentage. McManus, well done. Gee, Irving, it's a hard hip and shoulder there after McManus had kicked it, and it's going to come down the ground. Mitchell, there's Dean Irving. I feel a bit for him tonight. He's had a lot of on the interchange as the siren sounds. Irving coming on in about the last 10 minutes, and Fremantle have finished this game off in style. They kicked 6-6 in the final term to 1-2 to win 13-18 to 8-11. It was a 37-point margin after they trailed at the first by 11 and then 2 points at half-time. And Abraham with his 4 goals and Coops with a couple in the last quarter. They were pretty impressive in the end, Lee, and it was always something that was likely to happen once the game opened.
Well, I think it was, and losing Todd Viney for Melbourne was cruel. They were struggling to probably hold on even with Viney on the field, but once Viney went out of the midfield, well, then just that one player down, Melbourne weren't able to replace his influence, and I suppose, as you almost thought was probably going to happen as the game opened up, the Dockers just ran, and their ball skills and their run was very good.
So a third win to the Dockers. They consolidate their place in the 8. Let's go down to Dwayne Lamb, who has David Hines with him.
Thanks very much, Hines. Congratulations. Big job tonight running with Steins. You both got a lot of the ball, but you'll be happy with your form.
Oh, yeah, I'm reasonably pleased in the first half. I think I put you on died a bit in the second half, but I thought Jimmy played pretty well, yeah. It's good to have a win.
You'd say it was a solid win. You really didn't get going to that last quarter.
Yeah, well, I think we struggled to sort of get a few goals on the board. I think we threatened to do it a few times in the night, but we didn't really capitalise on the scoreboard, and it was a bit of a struggle the whole game, I think.
Early on, Melbourne were pretty physical in the packs. I suppose it was a plan, you know, after last week's game. They probably won early, but you got on top with your fleet-footed players later on. Yeah, well, that was the only way we're going to beat them, if we play them on their terms, which is hard in sludging the ball forward and that sort of thing. They're probably a better side at doing that sort of thing. We're a better side at moving the ball around. We struggled to get it going, but we won in the end, so that's the main thing. Starting favourites, do you think that puts any pressure on the start of the game?
Oh, not really. I think we just try and concentrate on playing our game, as we show that we could play against good sides like we did against Carlton, and we were hoping to probably put a bit of a better performance together tonight, but we're working away. We're still a young club, and it's a lot of work to do.
Yeah, well done again, mate. You're obviously enjoying Neesham style, and after 3 wins now, the boys must be confident about the season to come.
Oh, for sure. I think we've got the players. We just got to keep plugging away and try and perfect our game plan.
Right on, mate. You better get in for the song.
Thanks for that, Dwayne. With David Hines, who did make a very significant contribution to his team's win today. We just saw Neil Baum, who was sitting not too far from us a moment ago with the Melbourne Brains Trust. He was pretty disappointed about it all. In fact, these live pictures are coming right near our area, and Barmy's pretty distressed about it all. They gave it a good shout, Melbourne, tonight. They led at quarter time and half time, but and fought back very well in the third quarter, but in the end they were just outgunned. And Fremantle's last quarter performances this year have been pretty impressive. And for Melbourne, well, they're 1-4, and they've got a lot of ground to make up. They were 0-6 last year, but it seems that it's a more desperate plight already this season, with very little percentage, as we go in to hear the Fremantle song for a moment. Good on them, Fremantle, winning tonight 13-18 to 8-11, and what magic we saw from Winston Abraham in the second half. What about this for a gem? This goal in the final term.
He tries to get it in towards centre half forward for Smith, but it's chopped off by Chisholm. He's a very exciting player, and so is this boy, Dale Pickett. Godden can go further wide. Can Bandy outrun his opposition? No, he can't. Can this guy outrun his opposition? Have a look at Abraham go.